Hello, everyone, and welcome to Surrender Daughter. My name is Tyra, and I'm so glad that you are here. Today, we're going to be talking about overlooked opportunities. I do have some notes, so if you see me glancing down, that's what I'm doing because obviously I'm not a pro at this yet, and that's okay, but we're doing it. I also decided to look a little bit more presentable because that first welcome video, but anyway. So again, the title is Overlooked Opportunities. And so I was visiting my aunt, and she lives in a retirement community. And so on each floor, they have a lobby, right? And so I was sitting out there just talking to God, doing some work, basically really talking about this channel and the content. And so there is a big table to the right. And so what you can do is all of the tenants, they can bring like things that they don't want, like let's say picture frames or whatever, for somebody else to use if they don't want it. And so this day I was sitting there, and there was like this chest at the bottom because it was too big to sit on, on the table. And it's just sitting there. So, I took notice of it or whatever. And I'm just sitting there. And so this lady comes up, sweet little lady. She comes up and she's like, she said, hey, how are you doing? I said, I'm good. How are you doing? And she said, oh, I'm good. And she said, oh my gosh, this is such a cute chest. And I was like, so I'm looking, but I'm really not paying attention to her, because I'm doing what I'm doing. And so I see her though in my peripheral. I see her trying to lift it up. And mind you, there's nothing in the chest, but she's an older lady. I think she's like in her 70s, and she's trying to lift it up. And so she's like, I guess I'm just not going to get this, And so I'm just sitting there. I'm like, oh, okay. And so she walks off, and in my spirit, I heard, you missed an opportunity. And I was like, you know what? I could have helped her. I could have, but I wasn't going to go and chase her down the hallway to, bring a chest back, even though I should have, but I didn't. Okay, so again, I'm just sitting there minding my own business. And I think it was like 10 minutes later, she comes back and she's like, she said, oh, it's still here. This baby's going to come home with me, So she said, even if I have to drag it. So then I'm like, okay, God, I hear you, you wanting me to go, and help her. And I mean, obviously I should have helped her to begin with, but I was just, how sometimes you pay attention to things, you see things, and then after that moment, then you're like, oh, I should have did this. And so he brought it back. And so when he brought it back, brought her back. Well, when I say it, I mean the opportunity. But when he brought her back, I was like, okay, I see that you want me to go and help her. And so that's what I did. I said, well, did you need my help? Because I can help you, carry it to your apartment. She said, oh my goodness, baby, if you don't mind, that would be such a blessing to me. And I said, okay, yeah. And so I get up, get my stuff, and, it's like 2 handles on each end of the chest. And so she was trying to get one end, and I had picked my end up. And so she was struggling with doing it. And I was like, okay, well, let me just see how heavy it is, because I can just take it. And so I picked it. I said, oh, I can just take it, if it's not far. And so she said, oh, no, baby, it's right here. And so we began to walk down the hallway. Now, mind you, the chest is not heavy, but it's not light either. So she's walking, and again, she says, oh, it's right here. And so I go, as we're walking, I'm thinking, okay, well, her apartment's would be right here. And so when it passed up my aunt's apartment, I'm like, okay, it's not right here because my aunt's apartment is right there. So I'm walking down, my hands starting to hurt by now. And so her apartment is all the way down the hall, and then you make a right, down another hall, and then her apartment is there. And I'm like, okay. So my hand is hurting by now. And then when I walk in there, I have to go in and put it in her bedroom, wherever she's wanting it to go, at the foot of her bed. And so she's like, oh my gosh, thank you. So she hugged me. And so anyway, I left. And I go back to sit in the lobby, and that's when God just started downloading this message to me. And he was like, a lot of times we tend to overlook opportunities if they're not presented the way we think an opportunity should look. So typically with an opportunity, we'll see it's something that's beneficial to us, right? So we'll look and we're like, so an example would be like a job, or say a trip or something that, you can go to like a foreign country, somewhere you've been wanting to go, and someone presents an opportunity. So you're benefiting from that, right? It's beneficial for you. And so with this, it didn't seem like an opportunity to me, because it was just, in my opinion, at that time, it was just a good deed. And so God was like ministering that to me. He was like, well, whenever I present an opportunity, you need to change your how you perceive it, your perception of it, because whether it's big or small, when you are helping someone, you're serving me. And I was like, oh, okay. And so he was like, that's an opportunity to serve me. And so what he did was he brought me to scripture and Matthew 25. And hold on, I'm going to go there because I want to read it. Oh my gosh. One moment. I got my iPad here. Matthew 25 and 40, right? Okay, and so let me go to NLT. Gosh, I should have had this already, right? But it's okay. It's okay. All right. And so in the NLT version, Matthew 25 and 40, it says, and the king will say, I tell you the truth, when you did it to one of the least of these, my brothers and sisters, you were doing it to me. And so when he brought me there, he was like, so when you're serving or when you're helping someone else, you're also serving me. And just because the opportunity doesn't look the way you think it should, that doesn't mean that it's not an opportunity. And especially if I'm presenting it, and obviously he wanted me to go and help her because he had her to come back. And so he was just wanting me to know and wanted us to know that we need to be more mindful of things that are presented to us, especially like that, because we don't know how God is going to work and who he's working through. And so when I was sitting down, talking, I mentioned that I was talking about this channel and what, he wanted me to speak about. And so that is where I got my answer, because once I helped her, that's when he began to download this subject to me, overlooked opportunities, about what it was that he wanted me to speak about. And so I was just like, oh, okay. So you never know what small opportunities can lead to. So we just have to be mindful of that. And I was just thinking to myself that it was just a good deed, which it was a good deed, but God didn't see it that way. And so that's what he was showing me, that we just have to be mindful of that as well. And so then, he also told me that if we get in the habit of recognizing and acknowledging the smaller opportunities, that he will present bigger opportunities, things that we just already know. Oh my gosh, that's a great opportunity. And so if we steward well what he gives us, then obviously he will give us more. All right. So I think that is the message. And again, I'm just scrolling through my notes. Oh, grace. Give me some grace. Give me some grace. I think that's all that I got from that. I think it was short and sweet. Yeah, it was. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this word, and maybe it will make you more cognizant, more aware of any overlooked opportunities, anything that God presents to us that we may think is just, no, but we will actually think about it or actually do what he's leading us to do. So that is my time, and that is your truth. If this video blessed you, I encourage you to share it with someone. Also, like, comment, and subscribe. I will put the scripture in the description box, because I have some other scriptures that go along with that as well. And also, don't forget to stay in a place of surrender consistently at our Father's feet. And I will see you guys on the next video.